Hey there, crypto media friends. Welcome to another Overtime Monday, October 4th. If anybody is still waiting for their Nebra helium miner, please like, subscribe below because you're my people. And we've been waiting since helium blew up. It's so funny. It was just kind of, they keep sending me updates. They're like, oh, hey, yeah, your helium miner's on its way. Here's the new shipping announcement. Yeah, that's pretty lame, but NFTs. This is why I think it's way more exciting than crypto, honestly. Hardware delays. Maybe that's why I transitioned from hardware into crypto and then now into NFTs. Wanted to give you guys updates on Deluxe. It's insane. Kind of as we were tracking it together. Mind you, I was also before most everyone of announcing, not announcing, but getting into and giving you guys Bears Deluxe because I kind of saw something in it that was a little different, and it's continuing to grow. They just have a staggered staircase that is just being eaten up in terms of floor, and for the reasons that I gave in the previous video, and I'll kind of review again here, as well as talk about the MetaKey and what that is. It's so ominous, but it's so powerful as connecting NFTs into the Metaverse. And so this team is still figuring out what they're doing, but it's why I ended up I think I burned sadly an animata, my extra animata. Just he was a cool rare guy, but for me it didn't really speak to me because he had this crazy weird hat, and I was just like, it's rare that he has the crazy weird hat, but the art to me just didn't really speak to me, so I ended up selling him because I have an extra animata that I'm excited about getting a hoverboard for and making stuff happen with this little monkey here. Some exciting stuff going on in animatas. They're really leading the pack when it comes to trying to give value in terms of games, and here's the Bears Deluxe that I ended up with down with the King Run DMC. And I'm just keep having questions about, so let's go and talk about value here when it comes to this space. And so Animatus or MetaKey is offering value in terms of just a hold of an NFT that, it's cool, it's a nice design, it's a VFX design. I think they're quite nice and handsome, but they're probably not something that people are going to pay a lot of money for as a one-off. And so as a one-off NFT piece of art. And so, again, NFTs being keys that allow you access to any number of things. And this is where the creativity comes in. You can dictate, you can, develop what that means and what that is. Here, MetaKey, again, very, very smart people in MetaKey. And so the first thing they have is this treasury of knowledge. And so they created a MetaKey Academy. I don't know how to pronounce that, MetaKey. So MetaKey Academy is, just a place where they have, created videos to walk you through the beginning steps of NFT ownership, and I'm going to look at it myself. NFT creatorship, probably a lot of land ownership stuff because, as I mentioned before, DCL Blogger is one of the principles in the MetaKey, and this is why I have such high hopes for this project. A lot of smart people who are already into, in a big way, the Metaverse, and certainly with Decentraland, and now more and more with Sand. And so they're offering first, knowledge. I might check that out because it may show you how to make a lot of money in digital real estate. DCL Blogger is a great resource. He has a lot of videos on YouTube you can check out, but it kind of reviews the early days of Decentraland. But it does apply, I think, to Sand, which is, and other metaverses that are sort of developing now, including BitCountry, which we mentioned here. It's in its very, very early days. So the Discords, access to Discords is kind of, the key right now to getting alpha, whatever the hell that means, just like insight into allowing you to make a good decision, which this channel does. We try and do it live. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification below. because I do this live so that you guys get this stuff timely. Because I'm sorry if you were watching this a week, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. It's been that fast. The Bears Deluxe has gone up to a 2.5 ETH floor, up from a fraction. So it's like 5x in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. And so if you're getting this, a week later now, even, it's like it's too late. So please subscribe, hit the bell notification. I do this live so that you guys get this information when it's cogent, when it's like when it's actionable. I was super frustrated, reading or seeing Altcoin Daily talk about Ethereum. I don't know, just you should have got in a Cardano. It's like a video that's 6 months old. It's like, it's only 1 cent, and you're like, I can't. It's like $2 now, but I could have 200x there had I bell notification, liked and subscribed, and you could have 5x on bears. Now let's be reasonable. This is just an insane bear market. Insane bear market of crypto, but a bull market within NFTs, and it's not hard to pick and shoot. So I'm not saying that this is a track record that we should all be proud of, making 5x together on this channel. But I do want to understand the value of it, and and as a creator, how do we incorporate what they're doing into our own projects? And going back here to MetaKey, they offer this. Whoa, this is pretty cool. Watch this. Does that stop it? Oh, hey, got a little. Look at that. A10 Mini Pro. Hey, so it was like an old school TV sort of. Look at that! Whoa, did you see that? I felt like I was lifting the world. So I'm like MetaKey. So they have a Shark Tank, and so you're able to, perhaps, if you feel like you don't have the technical wherewithal and you have a project in mind for the metaverse and for perhaps an NFT project, you can go and present this to their DAO. Now their DAO is very well funded now because they have released four MetaKeys. That fourth one was a pretty big sale. I think they did about 2,000-3,000, and they range from about 0.4 to 3.5 ETH. I don't know, the floor may have dropped a little bit, but that's on the resale, mind you. So they are doing quite well in terms of a DAO that has a treasury. They could give you an opportunity to bring your thing to life. And I think, much like the Shark Tank, it's kind of awesome, depending on who's there. Let's check out who's there, right? But the potential there is to find, I was talking to some creators, and they're programmers, Dutch, and they kind of met them, in a chat room, and it's very sort of sketchy to see if that person is legit, and then try and create a project with them. These projects aren't cheap these days because the expectations are quite high, and so the budgets for them tend to go up unless you are just a native artist who's really into digital and welcome, hi, subscribe. Same here, and love to see you here. But unless you have those specific skills, you need to partner with somebody. And even if you did, you need to partner with somebody to run that damn chat room, right? Because the discords are mental. I'm just breaking up. This is how important the news that I'm giving you is. It's just breaking up the channels here. Knowing that the alpha, that was the alpha channel coming through to you guys. Okay, so you check out the Shark Tank. See who's there. Let's talk about it. If you know who sits in there occasionally, please put it in the comments section, because I'm going to check it out, and if not, I'm going to report back. Because I want you guys not just in on the hot new stuff. I want you guys knowledgeable about the hot new stuff and why it's awesome. And so I'm messing up RTFK. Artifact. I'm like RTFK. FKT is Artifact Studios. That's how they pronounce it. They were kind of going in streetwear, and I think they're very strong in this space, and they partnered up with MetaKey very early on. So there's a lot of great collabs potential by owning a MetaKey, and so that's the idea. Is you can own this MetaKey. It's not going to go. There's some other subscription type holding things where it's going to end in a year, and I feel that those are very limited in terms of value. But this is something, if you own, it's just you can just sit on this. And if you were you'd already gotten a bunch of drops. they do mention here on the website, or the site that I found, it was a Medium site, that they're going to do a thing called MetaCrew. And so MetaCrew is a PFP project, free for every key holder, any edition. And if you did the first 3 editions, they're pretty, collectible because they're a bit less of an edition. They ended up being, just a couple to several hundred, as to number 4, which is 2,700-ish. And so they're going to give them special treatment, which I think is cool. Like throughout the, I wasn't a fan of this art, to be honest. I was like, okay, well, that's a look, and they said, oh, this is going to be critical to our branding. They need to get with a branding artist, or I don't know. I wasn't excited by this art. I mean, what is it trying to say here? But maybe there's something cool about it. But I do think the cool thing is I think that also the art is in preparation for what looks to be metaverse components. And so having these 3 counterparts, for your avatar is super interesting to me, because then it allows you to enter these spaces with this character that you've invested in. And so the great thing about MetaKey also is that they're closely tied with Vogu. So it seems very clear. And again, I try and give you guys sort of the breaking news, if you will, about Vogu and sort of how they're going to be partnering with the MetaKey. I'll give you a little bit here, but it's not hard to see how this is going to progress. You're going to have a Vogu avatar if you have a MetaKey at some point, and you're going to be able to take that Vogu, and you're going to be able to put them in different Decentraland or Sand, what have you, and then begin to hopefully, if the right stars align for projects like Vogu to mimic something like Bear's Deluxe. This is where I think the potential and the power is in something like Vogu. Is you have a great PFP project. Any great PFP project, if they partner with somebody like the MetaKey, they have access to. They're like a studio. They have access to the metaverse. Now the metaverse opens up the opportunity to have wearables and other things that you can bring into that metaverse. That then opens up the ability to essentially create DeFi within that project, because then you can issue tokens. And this is what has made Kong's insane, I don't even know, $200,000, $300,000, because you're making $750 worth of coins every day, passive income holding an NFT. This is what Bear's Deluxe would like to do and get into. I don't know if they have the right combination yet. We'll go over why in a second, but if you look at something like Vogu partnering with MetaKey, you see, okay, great. They understand that they need a partner in the metaverse. Once you have metaverse, then you open up the wearables and all the cool stuff that you want, upgrades and hoverboards, what have you, into the metaverse, which is going to cost coin. So therefore, you can then create a token that has value within the metaverse, that has value then within the fiat market system. And so then you can get passive income from an NFT in a way that I think is the future, in a way that I think is valuable to us holders. I keep asking you guys, when you look at a project, how are you going to make me rich? How are Vogu's going to make me rich? I think that's the way. How is MetaKey going to make me rich? By offering and connecting me to the metaverse in many ways and giving me small drops. And also they're going to drop. This is the concept art for, again, they're so big in Decentraland already. They're building this in Decentraland, and this is like your if you have a MetaKey, you can go here with your avatar and go hang out, and this is where they're going to do events, and it's a very, very nice space in Decentraland, very well established, and they have great artists working for them in that space, which is why I was like, what is that? But I won't judge too hard, because I think, again, their head's in the right place. And so here they kind of give us a peek at the Vogu MetaKey Limited Edition DCL wearable. Again, we're opening it up to the metaverse. We're opening up to the wearables within the metaverse, creating value, because then you can take that jacket and sell it if you want, or just wear it and floss. So they have this with other projects, and I think that as they make these connections with other projects, they're essentially taking the ability for NFTs to explode into the metaverse with their IP, with their intellectual property, making us rich. as I said, looking and examining how are these NFTs going to make us rich? How is holding these things that we think are cool going to make us rich? Because I was just looking at a bunch of projects, and that's the thing, I get inundated, even on our Discords, right? We're just inundated and stuff, and I take a peek from now and then. If I see a good Discord group or a big one, I'm interested, and I feel half of them are a bit inflated, but I go to check it out, and I try and suss it out for you guys. 9 times out of 10, 20 times out of 21 times, they're projects that 900 times out of like 901 times is, they're bad projects, and they're ones that are only focused on sort of really just the dash and grab, the rug pull. And so here you have I always get like, it's so funny because I can see sort of when a lot of people log on and stuff, and it's kind of crazy. It's like it trips me out because I'm just like, oh no, another person's watching, hello there, welcome. And so welcome to my very small channel. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I do this live because this information is so friggin' timely. I mean, I tell you, how long ago was it? Like Bears Deluxe. It's just like, it feels like months ago, but it was just a few days ago, and it's 5x. So so here with the MetaKey, you have access to prefab. So when you do buy your own land in Decentraland or Sandbox, you have access to prefabs, which is, I think it's a collaboration with another project that I covered, the gaming project that I covered on Friday. And so I can kind of tell just by looking at the architecture. And so that's going to be, again, something you can buy with your coins, perhaps. Things that give us value within the metaverse are going to have fiat value as well, plus the physical merchandise, etc. So a lot more to be revealed. They're still, kind of searching out what it is that they are, and see again their vision, knowing that they have this great partnership with Vogu. I think is going to really clarify the space and how NFTs will be entering the metaverse, because you can walk in as your own 3D avatar, as a playable character, potentially in many games. Not every game, certainly, but many, many, many games in the metaverse. And I think that that's super exciting, because you can like build this value and take that into multiple games, instead of, for me, sometimes I get bored of like one game, or just like be able to access another platform with so maybe some of the traits that you have built up would be kind of awesome. And so let's see, that's kind of the holding the MetaKey at the moment sometimes may feel nonplussed, because you have this concept that's developing itself. But I think the roadmap, that's, again, I hate using the term roadmap, but I think the road ahead is very clear and it's very powerful, and something that the Bears, they're on such an exciting ride right now. I mean, this floor is actually just 3 ETH. If you look at the actual sales, nobody's really buying the floor. The floor is really staggered, so as soon as you step into the floor, it's only like 5 or 6 deep to get into 3 some ETH, and the sales are averaging 3 ETH or more. And so you have this 4-2 guy here. Where is that? And so it's just like, even if you look at the properties, it's just like he's only got like a 1%. Not the most rare bear. Well, he's got a cigar. That's 2%. That's 4.2 ETH at the moment. And so it's an exciting time for them. But I was on the AMA that they had, and that's when I shared this with you guys, maybe just before. And I jumped on the AMA. No, I did. I talked about the AMA, and they were trying to explain their vision and what their idea of tokenization, was. Here's this like crazy electric hair one. I was very close to getting a second one, and it was this crazy electric hair variation because I thought it was, it's like, slightly rare, but it just kind of looks crazy and cool. Look at this person. 15 days ago, bought this for 0.01 ETH and 7.5. Let's just give a rough 3,200. That's $24,000 in 2 weeks. That's mental. And so expected in this space, right? That's why we look at these things and we say, okay, how is this project going to make me rich? How are these things going to add value to my life? Monetarily, are they going to be able to game with this thing? Am I going to be able to get traditional media with this thing? It's kind of open, and I'm really questioning the value of traditional media at the moment. If you've seen some of my videos with these NFTs, because if you look at the games, they're not all great. If you look at the videos that they're creating, like the Deadheads, not great. I think the animators are doing a fantastic job. No FUD there, but I think just in terms of the storytelling, they think they're gonna make this amazing show, but they don't have the true talent that it takes to make a great show, which is great writing. And then you have Glue Factory, which has an amazing writing team, and I think I have high hopes for them still. I think you guys should check out their project, because I think I have high hopes in traditional media. Now that's the play for them. They're like, we're going to add value by incorporating you into the writing process, which is fantastic and awesome. And then we're going to create a show together. And they're going to be fun, short little shows. They're going to be shareable, and I don't know how they're going to make us rich, in a sense, make us the money back for putting our money down for their project. But it's just going to be a question of how they're able to, and I think they will, because they have great agents, and I know what agents they have. And they're very, very good. So they're essentially going to drop this, the Glue Horse show. It's going to get picked up somewhere, probably Comedy Central-ish. They're going to make that deal, and then it's going to be sort of that Stoner Cats moment, right, where I talk about like Stoner Cats has that same potential, and it's just going to be about like, how do we want to reward the people who have given us the money to make the show. So I think that's going to be exciting, because there's a traditional media platform that will pay for that with the IP that they've grown. Now, bears. How are you going to make me rich? It just keeps rising based upon, let's see if we can just show you. There's so few. So of the 6,900 bears, which mind you is less than 10,000, there's only about 10% ever out. So there's a lot of people holding on to this, and that's creating that super staggered floor, which we talk about, which when it gets eat up, really accelerates. And that's why this has gone straight the heck up, in that parabolic field, because the way that it's staggered, because a lot of people are holding on. And when you have a lot of people, who scream out in the Discords, delist, 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 they do it for this reason, so that you have a staggered floor, so that it really accelerates when people come to the project and they want to buy in at a price that feels comfortable for them, which now is, it's got to be 3 ETH. Like, that's the thing. It's just like it goes so quickly right up into 3 ETH, and all the sales are around 3 ETH, because that's when you start getting more selection. Once you come up off the floor, you start getting a little more selection. You start getting the rarities. You start getting the things that make the project interesting to to look at. Obviously, I went with the king, as you guys know, and so you can see sort of this is why once you get that one rarity, you can then hang your hat on it in terms of valuation, because then you can look at all the crowns and say, okay, where does mine lay within this section, the subsection of crowns? Well, the floor for that goes up pretty darn quick, doesn't it? Because there's only about 127 of those of the 6,900 involved there. And so the floor goes up quite quick, and so you can peg your value, somewhere just above the floor, because there's a lot of people who are very presumptuous of the project at 200 ETH. I don't know how regal that guy looks, but 200 ETH, regal? I don't know. But hey, maybe they're going to catch up. Maybe somebody's going to snipe that one for 200 because the floor is going to rise so fast on this one, because people believe that honey is going to be worth something. And now, what is honey? That's the big question. Everyone keeps asking. Oh, it's going to get me some, passive income. And well, it's like, well, how? Okay, here's the video game though. Hungry Bear video game. I love that they had that ready. There's other projects that I highlight that have their game ready that I think is fun, is dope, and you get to sort of play with your character. What's weird is like this one is just a pure game, and so your little guy goes and eats ETH, which I thought was fun. It doesn't quite look like ETH. It looks like bullets or something. I don't know. So it's like you go and you eat the ETH, and you run around this very 8-bit game. But on the previous games, you can at least have your avatar, in it. So for me, I was like, not super excited when I saw the game. And so I was like, what else is here? Is this a gameplay? I don't know. But what is honey? Honey is a utility token that is rewarded to all bear holders. It's very similar to other top tier tokens like banana. Of course, they want to create that association. And yes, all bears get honey. So just by having and holding a bear, you'll get dropped. Doesn't say when. We've looked at sort of different different timings of this. Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be a yearly thing, or is it going to be progressive? Like on a project I covered on Friday, it was just like it's constantly. I've checked it again. It's just like it's constantly on a clock, and I can get a day's worth. I can get a couple minutes worth, and it's just like, but you can keep stacking your tokens, which I thought was super cool. And so this kind of answers a lot of the questions that were in the AMA. Is like, what is it going to be used for? So you can use it to make VX bears, voxel bears. You can use it in arcade. I think potentially there might come out with more games like that. But I don't find great value in that. I don't know who's going to pay for that. No FUD here. I'm just being honest. That game was not something that would excite an investor, because again, we got to look at these, and I think it's cool that everyone's experimenting. But now we're at a point where NFTs, for the money that we're putting up, for the value that we're putting into these projects, for the floor that currently they're being sold for, we got to ask a lot from these creators, because if not, they're just going to sit and rug pull the hell out of us, because they're making a lot of money, and they're not offering value into the community. Unless they're doing these things, unless they're giving us, good value and good utility. So, use it in the Hungry Bear game. Sure, great. How much is honey worth? Nobody quite knows. The release date is forthcoming, and so I honestly would not be super into this project looking at it just on paper. Like, just reading this stuff. The value for me comes in the community is quite good and strong. Very, very smart people are in that Discord, and I think the community is super, super strong, and it's getting this super turbocharged just from the notion of elements of Kongs being associated with this project, and that's the real fuel that is really making Bears Deluxe take off, because it's like, potentially like somebody from Kongs is involved in this. I'm going to investigate more and more and to bring you guys how and why, because it keeps being mentioned offhand, and they keep mentioning it like other top tier tokens such as Banana. They want to associate themselves, obviously, but also through social they've been messaging, through other influencers, through Elio trades. He mentions, like, oh yeah. It's like, I believe he's, it's just like, but everyone keeps mentioning the association to Kongs. That's what's driving the real craze for this, because Kongs is so uber successful, and the thought that somebody on that team might be involved here brings value. It brings a lot of value, doesn't it? And you can see what it's done in the last 5 days, because I think that's what that rumor has made it rise in conjunction with the launch of the announcement of honey. Is like, somebody from Kongs is involved, and they're doing a bananas type thing. Fantastic. This is going to be one of those that I can sit around and hodl, and it's going to give me $750 a day in valuation. Is it? I don't know. But I think that's what's making it exciting right now for people. I want to still do my due diligence and find out, and I'll let you guys know, because that's the thing that's really igniting this project is the association. And so if you know the association, please comment in the section down below. I will subscribe you if you can subscribe me down here, bell notifications to do this live, because this is timely information. And but if you can comment down below who's involved from Kongs in this project in Bears Deluxe, I will follow you, because that is kind of the question right now is why everyone's jumping on this project. It's that sort of that hint that this could be the next Kongs, and it's certainly going to be inspiring for every project moving forward. Every project moving forward is going to have a decentralized finance component to it. Staking, coins, tokenization, drops are already part of it, part of the conversation. But I think now that it's being expressed, every project is going to know. They have to think about this. Our question: how are you going to make me rich? How are you guys going to enrich me from me putting down my nice ETH, paying for all that gas? How are you guys going to enrich in our lives as the fans of these NFTs and as the holders of these NFTs? That's the duty of care that is evolving, and I think we should demand more from our NFTs. So that's my rant. Please subscribe, and appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll talk to you soon.